There we go. All this shit's on, son. Jesus to read everything. Jeff Wittick was hit by a car now. Bunch of losers. So. Oh yeah, this is ass. There we go. Let's see if this works. Can I type? Yeah, we're good. We finally were able to open it. It does not open on Safari. They got rid of it on Safari for some reason. All those tabbers.
When something happens, so you gotta go tell that 3-person group chat with the weird name. Yeah, that group chat only works because one hero, one visionary, one said the legendary words, "Let's move this to WhatsApp." That's when everything changed. That's when the friendship became...
I just want you to know, partner, if I play 4 different songs in one... Yeah.
I said this before and I'll say it again.
Yes,
Look closely. This worker is basically doing dental surgery on an asphalt milling machine. The bad teeth he is pulling out are the machine's cutting bits. One single bit can cost up to $80, and replacing a full set can mean swapping out more than 100 of them at once. So, a lot of people wonder, why is this tiny thing so expensive? The answer is simple. It is extremely hard. When the machine spins at high speed, these bits work like a row of metal teeth. They bite into old asphalt layer by layer.
Did you know you can feed homeless people HDMI cables?
That's literally manslaughter.
Why?
Ain't Elon Musk already doing that?
that was nice.
Do you ever get confused when you're mining and think that the lapis lazuli are diamonds?
What?
Why did Richtofen need the Gersh device?
Our vocal card game.
What?
Why did Richtofen need the Gersh device?
I don't know none of that shit that you just said.
You have no idea? Do you know?
No.
It was a crucial component in his plan to access and manipulate the Dark Aether.
I gotta look that up on Google.
Did you know when you meet Kellogg at Fort Hagen, he is actually over 100 years old despite only looking like 50?
Huh?
He murders your wife and he...
I don't know what I was just watching.
Do you ever get confused when you're mining?
Huh?
He murders your wife and he steals your son in the beginning.
With Walmart's back-to-school styles, kids can mix and... With Walmart's back-to-school styles...
What's popping out? And just like that, she's back.
I've unboxed a lot of TVs on this channel, but this one's a little different. It's modestly sized, contains no stunning new technology, and it's from a brand that you might know, but don't necessarily love. So, with all those things in mind, I've just got one question about it. Why the existential fuck is everyone buying this TV. And that's no exaggeration. 10,000 of you bought this thing in just the last month. The Insignia NS55 F51 NA26 is flying out of Amazon's warehouses so fast, they're going to need more robots to keep up with the demand. And I guess if I'm being honest, I can kind of see why. For just $200, you're getting a 55-inch TV. It runs at 4K resolution. It's got a built-in Fire TV for all your streaming needs, and it even supports HDR10. I mean, for most people, that's not just a great deal. That's a no-brainer, but it runs at 4K resolution. It's got a built-in Fire TV for all your streaming needs, and it even supports HDR10. I mean, for most people, that's not just a great deal. That's a no-brainer, but is it too good to be true? Maybe we should use a little bit of our brains here, because when we were testing this TV, we, HDR10, really? Did find some small catches. Now it's time for this small man to catch this segment.
Can you believe an entire scaffolding system can be built from bamboo? In Hong Kong, it is still used to repair high-rise buildings. Workers choose bamboo that is over 3 years old and has no cracks or rot. Thick poles stand vertically to carry the load. Thinner poles run across them while diagonal braces stop the frame from leaning. There are no welds or bolts. Instead, the poles are tied with nylon straps only a few millimeters wide. Each key joint is wrapped at least 5 times and cross-locked, joining the poles into one solid frame. So why use bamboo when strong steel tubes already exist? The reason is simple. Bamboo may not be as strong as steel, but it is much lighter. Workers can carry it to upper floors by hand without cranes or heavy equipment.
Punks around here screwing up the shit. Huh?
Nobody tells you that the hardest part of building a brand is describing what's already in your head. Hi, I'm Macy, founder and designer of Coop.
Macy continues to be a major topic of discussion, and now one of her recent comments about why she believes Asmongold is so successful has gone viral. While speaking on stream, Kaisi acknowledged that Asmongold's success is undeniable, but argued that his wealth and status are also part of what makes him appealing, defending Asmon in the following.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's very successful, but we're not going to ignore that, but he's also a very good product. If we apply the same analogy to me, if I was a fat, disgusting pig, nobody would be listening to what I'm saying right now, right? Because obviously fat people's opinion don't matter. The same thing.
Kaisi is continuing to respond to criticism surrounding her relationship with Asmongold, this time addressing accusations that she's only interested in him because of his success and wealth.
Also, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with it. So what? So what, right? You like a guy that is successful, that makes him attractive. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's really just survival of the fittest, not gonna lie. You know, back in the olden days, the male that can hunt the most, they get to mate, they get to reproduce, they get to breed. This is literally biology. It's literally the same thing. I don't think there's anything...
Some people agreed with Kaisi, arguing there's nothing controversial about acknowledging that men and women often value different qualities of their partner. One commented that men are generally attracted to youth and beauty, while women tend to value stability.
I'm retiring.
Replied, asking why either preference would be considered a problem if both people are happy. Others defended Kaisi personally, arguing that much of the backlash stems from people being unhappy that Asmongold Gold is in a relationship at all. They claim some critics have tried to paint Kaisi in a negative light, simply because he doesn't fit the image they had of Asmongold's personal life. Not everyone agrees, however. Some criticise Kaisi's language, arguing that describing people as products makes relationships sound superficial and transactional. Others said attraction is far more complex than simply reducing it to status, wealth, or biology. April Leslie's place.
Alright, okay, let's go.
Well, I think I can Korean ego.
What do you mean Korean ego?
Korean men have egos.
No, Leslie has experience.
I have experience. I was engaged to a Korean man.
Alright, okay. Well, don't get me started on Chinese girls then.
Stop.
Ice Poseidon has reignited the debate over Twitch's current popularity after claiming the platform is only still relevant because of Kai Cenat. During a recent stream, Ice argued that if Kai wasn't on Twitch, very few people would still be watching the platform. Ice Poseidon shares in the following.
Dude, Twitch will kill itself. Like, okay, Twitch is lucky they have Kai. If Twitch didn't have Kai, the Twitch would be on the decline. I've never met a person in real life that watches Twitch, personally, in the past 5 years.
They know what it is, but
in the past 3 years, I've met more people that watch Kick than Twitch. Like random people on the street, they know Kick, and they'll be like, yeah, I've seen like Ada Ross and Clav. They don't even, they go like, oh, Twitch, like they've never watched it. Twitch is like a lot of old, okay, it's like old liberal people.
Yeah.
It's like they're gonna get aged out. Like Kai, they're lucky they have Kai because he brings in a young audience. But the problem is...
That's true, their legacy people are older. They're the originals.
The problem, though, with the Kai audience is that they pretty much go against the values that Twitch has set in the past 10 years.
Yep.
And there's going to be an eternal battle. And then at a certain point, those Kai, kind of streamers, they're going to be like, Twitch, they're going to leave. Because Twitch, at the end of the day, the people that work there are Ludwig viewers. That's who they're like 45-year-old green-haired women that are so out of touch and only care about pushing their political agendas more than making any entertaining content or...
Some argued that his criticism of Twitch comes largely from the fact that he's permanently banned from the platform, with one user joking that he only hates Twitch because he can't stream there anymore.
Twitch is bad, dude, in general. I can stream on Twitch right now.
The biggest live streaming platform for years, and questioning why viewers would suddenly abandon it for Kick. Several commenters also argued that Twitch creators still reach far larger audiences than ICE does today. Some criticism became more personal, with one user claiming ICE is frustrated because he's no longer reaching mainstream audiences, while many Twitch creators continue to attract millions of viewers. Another commenter mocked ICE's claim that nobody watches Twitch anymore, joking that you'd meet thousands of Twitch viewers before finding someone who even knows who Nick Lee is. The stock guy forgets to switch to his alt.
But once inside, the passenger makes us...
Okay, that's it, you're done. The stock guy, this is the internet. This is going to be written in ink. I bet she flips like a corporate handshake. What the f*** is wrong with you? Buddy, you have a wife and kids. Tell me that. What is wrong with this guy? Buddy.
And officers realize her situation is potentially unmet.
The legal battle between Mizkif and Amiru continues to generate discussion, and now Asmongold has weighed in with his thoughts on where he believes the case currently stands. His comments come after a judge allowed parts of Mizkif's lawsuit to continue moving forward, prompting some people to view the ruling as a positive sign for Mizkif. However, Asmongold argued that the decision shouldn't be interpreted as a major victory.
Saying, yes, it is possible that Mizkif could find some facts and come against Asmongold again. It's possible he could prevail against Emiru. But at this point, his window for victory...
It's not what I would bet on. So far. It's not what I would bet on.
Victory is narrowing. It's becoming harder and harder for Mizkif. Would you be okay with some form of settlement? Maybe an Emiru apology saying, hey, I framed this in a bad way.
It's not going to happen.
Shouldn't have said this way.
How's it narrowing if the judge approved it to the next step? Isn't that the opposite?
It's because he basically didn't define it correctly, and the judge wants to have a more definitive, like, that's part of Emmy's case and not mine. So
Twitch, dude.
I'm not going to really make
Pretty
a lot
much
of comments
bad.
on that. I'm only really going to talk about, like, my situation. And my situation was actually really, really simple. And to the extent that anything else comes out, I think that it will only further entrench this problem. Like, there's a lot of things like
in the
right
trenches.
now, you know, again, I have respect for other people's privacy. There are a lot of things that are not public, but when they are made public, I think they'll be very revealing. I think they will be, just like the other things have been revealing. Like, for example, the Discord DMs were revealing. You know, things like, for example, like some of the stuff in the other court filings were also revealing. And so there's been a whole lot of this. And that's really about it. And so checking the claims now, since it'll be worse if the judge caught the silence attempt. Yeah, tried and failed, exactly. So let me look at here. Wrath of the Roach King. The thumbnail goes hard. Exactly. Reach a trial, and then actually then winning the trial is another one. So it's like kind of, you have a lot more to go through than just like one specific thing. There's a long, yeah, it's a very, very long process. And something not getting thrown out immediately is like not really that big of a deal. What do you think will happen in the Emeru case? I'm not gonna, I mean, out of respect for her and everything, and I'm not gonna make comments on that. So, yeah, that's it.
Asmongold's comments quickly sparked debate online, with many questioning his track record when it comes to predicting high-profile legal disputes. Some users pointed out that Asmongold had previously been confident about other creators' legal cases, arguing those predictions didn't ultimately play out as expected. Others accused him of approaching this case with a predetermined conclusion, saying he appeared more interested in supporting his friends than evaluating the lawsuit objectively. Not everyone disagreed with him, though. Some argued that regardless of who eventually wins in court, the public perception surrounding the case has already had a major impact. One commenter suggested that even if Emil were to win legally, that alone wouldn't necessarily change how the wider streaming community views the situation, adding that public opinion can often matter just as much as the courtroom outcome. Overall, the reaction was divided, with some criticising Asmongold's legal analysis, and others agreeing that it's still far too early to draw conclusions about how the lawsuit will ultimately end. Today's generation of kids are cooked.
Dude, speaking of 6'7", I don't think I told you guys this. I have a buddy who works as like a teacher for school. So he's working with like 4 or 5-year-olds. And I was like, the kids, are they still saying 6'7"? And he's like, yeah. But they're also saying 9'11". 9'11".
Qualcomm robot collapses during a live presentation demonstrating its new AI chip.
Sony wants the future to be digital only, but this is how we make sure physical stays around forever. This is preservation. Every PS3 like this still works because you can actually maintain it. You can clean it, repair it, keep it alive for decades. Because nobody can delist this, that's why I still collect physical. You own your games.
Everything's a game.
Want to travel further with a new car? Let's go. Our first stop is no annual fee falls. We're in the forest of...
With the most progressive agenda, no options. There was just no alternative. It was going to be progressive, liberal, feminist, BLM, all that kind of stuff. And if you were to the right of John McCain, you're no platformed. Censored, banned from all the platforms, you're fired from your job, you're ostracized socially. And I think what happened really in 2021 when Trump got banned from the platforms is it felt like 70 million people got canceled. 70 million people that voted for Trump, or 60, 70 million people, we were all felt like, oh, so if Trump is out of politics and we're all banned from the platforms, then how is there any redress for our grievances? Do we just have to shut up and get with the program and we're all going to be...
Trying to make something that people love.
You are watching Megan Smith in 1993, describing the first smartphone, a product that she and her team were creating in a startup called General Magic, as they said, to make something that people would love.
3 wishes. Here you go. What are your 3 wishes? Well, I want to be able to see all around the world. Granted. I want to be able to talk to anyone I want to find out the answer without running into their answering machine or bothering them and always getting through. Granted, I want to be able to learn more. I want to be able to see more. I want to be able to do more. Granted, here it is in the palm of your hand.
In order to make something that people love, we have to look at what are they going to see and feel and hear. And so what this cabinet is about is, well, the hardware team was off doing things like making what the innards of this stuff is going to be like. We were here looking at what is it going to feel like, what's it going to look like. Now this is a huge, ugly thing, but we had to start somewhere. We had to start with components that we could buy off the shelf because you're working from wishes and ideas of how you wish it would be, and real components that you can buy that are cheap enough that you can make the product reasonable so people can afford it, because if it costs $1 million, forget it.
Back then, I worked for the company General Magic. It was a very famous startup in Silicon Valley with a lot of money and a lot of belief that the vision they had for a personal communicator.
Personal wireless communicators will soon enable people to stay in touch wherever they are.
That you can carry with you. That was your ally, your assistant, your helper, your friend, your way to communicate, to receive messages, etc. was a reality, and it was going to be them who built it. And remember, this was 13 years before the iPhone was introduced.
And this is the touchscreen. This piece right here that lays on top, and it's like a mouse, only it lays right on top. And so you use it so that you can. What we want people to feel the software, to experience the software, and so they should be able to directly touch things that they can see on the monitor or the LCD on the wall.
One of Megan Smith's jobs as a hardware engineer was to figure out a touchscreen. And this had to be a complicated screen because there was a lot of things that this General Magic was going to do.
We couldn't find a touchscreen to solve this problem. In fact, at one point we had to invent one. It's Randall, who works for Randall Singer. He came up with this idea of a touchscreen that would be balanced at 4 points, and as you pushed on it, you could sense touch.
In order for General Magic to succeed, the screen had to be really good because there was all kinds of things going on. There was spinning things, mail, noises. It was a very complicated system that needed that level of screen.
Welcome to the first public demonstration of General Magic's technology. We've been laboring behind this closed curtain for so long. We're just dying to show you. Here it is, world, Magic Hat.
Since 1990, a small startup company called General Magic has been working to realize a vision of enabling technologies that will help people make the most of the emerging electronic highway and marketplace. They came together because they believe that everyone should have easy access to their own electronic community, a community of family, friends, colleagues, of news, information, entertainment, of shops, financial services, travel agencies.
I'll go here and recruit a little robot agent. He's kind of idle and just paces the floor, but when I tap on him, he opens up, and he's describing himself as an agent that knows how to search the network for name cards. And so let's see what he's going to ask me. Well, he wants to know what to search for. I'm going to pick dentist because I've been talking so much that my teeth are beginning to hurt here. I'll say, where should I send him? So I'll send this over to Bill's machine now. So let's go. So what the agent will do is make a postcard, jump on it, he goes to sleep on the card for traveling through the network. And now, as you can see, it's about to be sent to Bill.
I come to General Magic from New York City. I was an East Coast guy. I didn't know words like grok. I never heard something like form factor or easy to use. And I got my first computer, and you remember what that first computer from Microsoft 1990s did? It made a mistake. It said, you have committed a fatal error. Only an engineer could write such language. I really believed it first. What did I do? I did something. Unbelievable misconnect between the engineering mind and the us mind. And General Magic.
In our pursuit of passion,
trying to cross that chasm.
This is Apple Computer's fantasy of what the future holds, and all the computer, communications, and entertainment device called Navigator.
Friend Joe Gilbert.
This is Apple Computer's fantasy of what the future holds, and all in one computer.
Yo, I had the folding screen down back then, bro.
Plus mine. And General Magic was trying to cross that chasm.
This is
Look at
Apple
this thing.
Computer's fantasy of what the future holds, an all-in-one computer, communications, and entertainment
Yo,
device
son.
called the Knowledge Network.
Your friend Joe Gilbert has published an article about deforestation in the Amazon.
This is so useful to me. It's so nice, such a nice part of my life. But I'm willing to bathe myself in this environment and participate.
Right now, if you're really wired, you've got a messaging pager, a battery-powered cell phone, maybe a fax machine that you can operate out of your car, and of course a battery-powered laptop computer. Well, the promise of personal intelligent communication is that in the future, all of these functions will be wrapped up into one small box, small to start with, but certainly something small enough that you can take with you at home and in the office. General Magic hopes the devices will be in common use by the time these children are in college.
This is a very personal product, so we need people to love it. We need it to be like your watch. You know, Bill's like saying your watch, your glasses, your wallet, something that you like the color, you like the way it feels. And so whether the experience is just the physical part of holding it, or whether the experience is when the software is running, when you've got the machine on, the sound that you're hearing, or the feeling of the touch, or the way that the touch screen, the LCD looks. And we have to think about all those parts. We want your mom, your grandma, your dad, your uncle, real people who have real things that they want to do, to have a great time with this product.
Megan Smith was a unique person to me, in a way.
Real developers.
She was so positive in everything. High energy, vision, dream, believing that all people would work together to create things, that everything was good. That was Megan Smith. That was not all of the engineers, but there also was this engineering mind that I did not understand. Somebody once told me that 7 engineers working on...
Alright, I'll be back. Well, let's see the engineering mind. Oh, we lost the video.
that I did not understand. Somebody once told me that 7 engineers working on a project is the most that there can be, because you have more, they can't communicate to each other what's in their head, which is never fully put on the page or in the code. And they write in these strange languages, and they create not code, but your world, but a map, but a movie. It's just amazing how digital systems
7 people.
work. Megan Smith taught me all of that. And she taught me that when the engineers get together, they're in kind of a sandbox. They're not enemies, they're like children playing together and laughing about things and imagining things. It's a wonderful place to be. And if I had seen what I saw in General Magic and learned what I learned from Megan Smith, I might not have been a filmmaker. Because there's something so wonderful about the creation of things out of a language that then appear real and that then people use and love.
One of the difficulties is to present a lot of information to somebody, to give them enough screen area so that they can do things. They can write notes, or they can send messages, see cool graphics, or eventually run video across the thing. So we're starting with a screen size that's probably about that big. Someday, Dick Tracy wristwatch. But
the watch, the kind of Flash Gordon dream from my era, that you would someday wear a watch that you could click on, you could take your pulse, you could leave messages. What a dream.
Even Dick Tracy might trade his watch in for one of these little gadgets you see.
General Magic didn't succeed. It failed. That's a whole movie which was created by one of my colleagues called General Magic the Movie. You can watch it and really get the story.
Movie ad.
But its people created things like the iPhone, the iPad, eBay, and all kinds of other stuff, the people who worked there. So I want to thank Megan Smith for doing all of those great videos with me and all the other folks at General Magic. And I want to suggest to you that this little gadget is a result of generations of wonderful, original, creative thinking. I know that some of you have problems with social media. I do too. But the fact is, these things are so wonderful. In my lifetime, to go from a phone on the wall in my kitchen.
They are wonderful.
And in my lifetime, a thing you can push on the television, and the television change.
But they're also crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's David Hoffman, independent documentary filmmaker. Bird by my side. Thank you.
Oh, that's a weird video.
Wayfair's biggest home sale of the season is here. It's Wayfair's Black
All right,
Friday
son.
July sale. Right now through July 27th, get up to 80% off everything
End
home.
of everything.
Plus, amazing doorbuster deals and surprise flash deals for just 24 hours. Now
Great stream, son.